I'm nothing special to look at, but my boyfriend is Riverdale's most handsome scion of the Caden family. My last birthday, 2 months ago, I'd had a few drinks and he took me to a hotel. After that night, he never texted me again. I went to him on my own and accidentally overheard him trashing me to his bro. How I was a horror show once the clothes came off, how he needed a clean, cliff-edge break before I clung. He even laughed at himself. Was I blind? All those beauties chasing me and I got hooked on her. I could take that? I quietly started detoxing every drop of love I had for him. While Caden kept me on ice for months, partying from beach to club with some freshman girl, then came back to dump me. The next day I posted a seamless rebound meet my new man selfie. He stared at his phone like it had slapped him. Before we go on, hit subscribe and drop a comment telling us where you're listening. 2 months ago, on my birthday, tipsy on red wine, Caden took me to a hotel. My period showed up unannounced, so we never slid into home, but the leap in intimacy still felt huge. I've always been cold serious, eyes on the books, nothing else. Caden chased me for 2 years, we dated 2 more, and I grew steadily addicted. After we almost went all the way, instinct told me to glue myself even tighter to him. Only, lately he barely answered my texts. At first I didn't suspect anything, his favoritism toward me was obvious to anyone watching. I figured there was trouble at home. I skipped the team welcome party, hailed a ride to his loft, and let myself in. He drilled the door code into me early on. I keyed in, familiar as ever, living room empty. Upstairs, the study door stood ajar and voices drifted out. Call it luck, I caught Caden and his best friend Finn drafting my dismissal. Caden had a cigarette parked in the corner of his mouth. Back in high school I only saw her grades and that ice queen vibe, turned me on. Strip the clothes, throw on some light, and damn, turns out she's plain ugly. Tell me, was I blind? All those tens throwing themselves at me and I got strung out on her. Finn shrugged. Who knows? Thought you wanted palate cleanser. Every girl we grew up with looks camera ready. After a decade your eyes tire, an ugly curtbreaker makes a decent sorbet. Congrats, vision restored. Caden flicked dash. Makes sense. Almost, slept with her. With Brielle's rulebook personality, if I'd gone all the way she'd latch on for life. Horror movie stuff. So I freeze her out till she blows up and dumps me, less mess. He rubbed his forearms like brushing off cooties. I stood frozen, brain buzzing. Dad's cheating had taught me early, men equal pain. I studied like a machine, planning to bankroll my own old age. Then Caden barged in, glittering trust fund prince, shameless in his chase, confession after confession. Even my bestie said it had to be real. Caden wasn't like other guys. I believed it, became a punchline. Staring at that handsome, laughing face, tears kept coming. I'm human, not wood. 2 years glued together, my feelings only deepening. That hotel night, hearing him moan baby against my neck, I'd nearly cried from joy. Turns out while I mapped forever, he was repulsed. Hilarious. Pride vetoed any tantrum. I shut the door without a sound. Walked 3 miles straight before I collapsed on a bus stop bench. Legs throbbed, heart shredded. The sky pitched in, hurling wind and rain. Across the street a mall speaker blasted the perfect soundtrack. Let the downpour hide the war on my face. Let it end, tell me, aren't you the selfish one? Fine, end it, Caden. You want severed? I'll make it clean. And I'll make it gorgeous, or I waste the brain that scored 702. Next day, radio silence from Caden. Probably step 1 of his cliff edge plan. I didn't sit around waiting this time. First I unpinned his chat, then swapped out our couple avatars. The second it changed, a text popped. Caden, ? I ignored it. Caden, why the new pic? Still on read. Bored, he gave up. I muted his Instagram and rebuilt my study calendar. Love had cost me sessions. I'd even skipped Westbrook drills and pissed off Hughes. No more letting a boy dent my GPA. I packed every hour with mock contests and code sprints, then rode to Westbrook. A couple senior teammates were there, plus someone new, back toward me. The moment I stepped in, senior teammate Song Hwa waved me over. Brielle, come meet the rookie, Zayn, CS freshman. He bagged Nationals gold last year, score higher than yours. Geniuses colliding, hug, I need a photo. Zayn's 2 years younger, tall enough to block the lights, unfairly pretty, future heartbreaker. I swear kids nowadays are raised on rocket fuel, jeans stacked. He stretched out a long elegant hand. Hey, I'm Zayn. Heard legends about you. Flattered, just call me Brielle. And wow, you're scary good. Honestly, if you top my score at Nationals you're savage level. Judging by Song's grin the kid's being modest. Our team's future looked platinum. Romance dead, career shiny, fine by me. I shelved the ache and dove into drills with Zayn and the guys. All day he stayed cool under brutal bugs, never twitching. When the building shut, we walked out together. Zayn hugged his books, glancing down. Brielle. I've actually had my eye on you a while. Huh? Sorry if this is sudden, do you have a boyfriend? He asked it so politely I didn't know what to say. After a beat I answered, technically yes, but it's expiry date close. Zayn's gaze slid to me. Reason? I lifted a shoulder. He says I'm ugly. Far from it. Thanks. I'm not hung up on looks, and I'm not discussing them with a freshman I met an hour ago. We split. I'd barely rounded the corner when I spotted Caden. He wasn't here for me, he was collecting Serena from dance, a girl 2 doors down in my hall. She bounced downstairs in a flirty skirt, glowing like an idol, slipped into step beside him, an eye candy couple. Everyone in the dorm knew I was his girlfriend, yet sighs of so perfect still rippled. I stood in the crush and watched them go. Right before she climbed in, Serena laced her fingers through his. Caden smirked, then caught my stare. Shock flashed, he almost yanked his hand free, then froze. I kept looking. Caden, your move. If you sprint over and apologize, maybe we still have a road. The hope felt pathetic. Sure enough, he turned away and left. Acid rose in my throat. Back in the room, my roommates hovered. Brielle, did you just, yeah? I forced a smile, swallowing tears. They exhaled. Okay, we didn't know how to tell you. Serena's been seeing him for a while, just low-key till now. I mean, the Caden money can't excuse public humiliation. You're his official girl. They ranted, yet underneath lay resignation. Someone that shiny straying had always been a matter of time. I dodged their pity, locked myself in the shower. Cold water pounded until my mind cleared. That night Caden texted nothing. My head split, I gulped cough syrup and passed out. Next morning the thermometer said 101.3 degree F. Zayn noticed first. He kept glancing over his screen. On the 5th look he strode across the lab and pressed a palm to my forehead. You're burning. I knew, nose clogged, skull drilling, but I dragged myself to Westbrook anyway, courting punishment. Everyone else had gone for lunch, only he remained. I batted his hand. I'm fine. Nothing fine about this temp. I said I'm good. A fever evaporates brain rot, maybe I'll finally cough Caden out of my system. He didn't argue, just bought ibuprofen, watched me swallow, then disappeared and returned with hot congee. Voice flat, he said, I don't know what that guy has that's worth self-torture, but if you won't love yourself, no one else's love can stick. He walked off before I could answer. I hugged the steam rising from the plastic bowl, chest a mess of salt and warmth. I opened WhatsApp and began, Caden, I'm running a fever. Before I hit send, TikTok ping. Serena's dance clip was trending local. She spun in a slip mini, ethereal, circling a guy on a bar stool who watched like a cat at a mouse, equal parts lust and amusement. If that guy weren't my boyfriend I'd have applauded the eye candy. I deleted my draft, left the lab, crossed campus, and pushed into the Eastbrook salon. Looking the stylist in the mirror, I said, cut it all off. Caden loved long hair. I'd grown it to my waist, dreaming of a veil one day. 2 snips and my head felt half its weight. I gestured at the back of my skull. While you're at it, dye it smoke gray. When I stepped out of the salon, I felt reborn, like my cold was already halfway gone. I texted Zayn and asked him to meet me for hot pot. While we were waiting for a table, fate, or maybe just bad luck, marched Caden and his boys straight toward us. Serena wasn't with them, it was an all-guy crew heading out to drink. Caden saw me, couldn't dodge, and rubbed his nose as he walked over. Hoodie, jeans, a new stud in his left ear, nothing like the style I used to like. He forced a grin. What are you doing here? I mirrored the smile. Treating a classmate. To what? Hot pot. Oh. Silence. I didn't fish for small talk, so the air just settled. It's funny, when we first got together, Caden was a chatterbox, circling me, chirping about everything. After a while I turned chatty too, family gossip, teachers, classmates, I reported it all. People say mystery is the oxygen of love. Maybe I smothered him, made it too easy, stripped out every challenge. Whatever the reason, this past year his curiosity about my life had flatlined. At first I didn't realize he wanted out. I thought I'd messed up and tried twice as hard to please him, begging for dates. Now that I see the script, it's obvious, when a guy's done, even your breathing annoys him. I tapped my foot for another minute or two, he was still staring. A server called our number. I lifted a hand. That's me. See you. I turned and left. I didn't notice Caden standing there forever, so long that Finn finally clapped his shoulder and reminded him Serena was waiting at the bar. Caden swallowed the weird ache in his chest and walked off, looking back every other step. Something inside him felt stuck. Inside the hot pot place, Zayn and I clicked like we'd missed each other in a past life. Only 2 years apart, yet we're photocopies, boring STEM nerds, museum addicts, temple explorers, chili heads, suckers for absurd variety shows. By the end of the meal, both stomach and soul were purring. I sipped tea and sighed, ah, bliss. Zayn handed me a napkin for my mouth. Explain. Haven't had spice in ages, this is detox for my taste buds. Why the embargo? Boyfriend hated it. Right? Caden hated it, so I quit. More than a year of bland, the first bite almost brought tears. Zayn wore his usual old sage expression. Senior, I'd say your taste in guys needs an upgrade. I nodded slowly. Yeah, me too. Come on, let's walk it off. I dragged him to the buzzing Eastbrook strip behind campus. After 7 it's wall-to-wall people. A balloon shooting booth caught my eye, but my miniskirt was a tactical error. Zayn read my mind, tilting his chin toward a clothing stall. Let's get you a new outfit. Now we're talking. Caden liked skirts, so my closet had turned total debutante, impractical the second I had to move. I grabbed a cropped tank and cargo pants, crisp and easy. When I stepped out, Zayn lifted a brow. Now that's your real uniform. Kid's got game, some lucky girl will thank him later. I patted his shoulder like a proud elder. Come, little bro, let's win you a toy. I marched up, guns blazing, and missed every single balloon. Zayn hid a laugh behind his hand. Mind if I try? Mortifying. I slid the rifle over. Instead of taking it, he pulled a stool, sat behind me, arms circling mine, raising the gun. Warm breath brushed my ear, jasmine faint in the air. A low voice guided, aim for the red squeeze here. Pop, ball. Oh, and gone. I felt his quiet chuckle vibrate through my back, testosterone on tap. I licked the inside of my cheek, fighting a grin, savoring the solid arms halfway hugging me. He cleared 12 balloons in a row and traded for a giant teddy. As the boss handed it over, a syrupy voice floated by. Ooh, that bear's adorable. Caden, I want one too. I looked up, Serena and Caden, side by side, 10 steps away. Caden's face went charcoal. He stalked over and reached for me. What are you doing here? I sidestepped. Hanging with a classmate. You're strolling with some dude? Am I dead to you? I jutted my chin towards Serena. Your side chick's right there, so chill. I'm not the one who bragged about hookups under the girls' dorm. The barb hit an artery. Serena jumped out. Who are you calling a side chick? Whoever answers. You ugly old hag, who do you think you are? Her eyes bulged, chest heaving. Then she smirked. Well, with a face like that, no wonder the young master's sick of you. He has to hide just to dump you. Woman to woman, I'm embarrassed for you. Do yourself a favor, walk away with whatever dignity's left. At first I was only angry, but hearing her mock my looks, I froze. I never dreamed Caden would trash my appearance to another girl. We met freshman year. Back then he was just a rich, rowdy kid, but decent at the core, otherwise I wouldn't have fallen. When did he rot? I stared like I'd never seen him before. Caden looked away, guilty, then sneaked another glance. Finally he snapped, stop looking at me like that, you cheated first. I said, okay, and? So let's break up. If you want out, wish granted. I'll bury the hope and be done. He didn't answer, he bolted. Think about what you did, he threw over his shoulder, dragging Serena with him all the way home. Caden's pulse wouldn't level. He unlocked his phone for the 100th time, opened Brielle's chat. New profile pic, still 0 new messages. Instagram, blank. She hardly ever posts, the last one was his own birthday blowout, the two of them holding hands, caption, I'll walk with you. From day one she'd been calm, unflappable, and it drove him crazy to know what brewed beneath. But once he tasted the fruit, it turned ordinary. Turns out Brielle was human, crushed by a bad exam, wrecked by her parents' fights, sulking if his replies were late. Once the mountain mist cleared, the peak looked boring. So he decided to quit. He couldn't chain himself to a stone-cold life. Still, 2 years of chase felt like wasted coin if he just walked. He stalled until she sensed it. He knew nothing was going on with that guy. Brielle's head was all textbooks. Yet seeing her in a tank top, laughing beside someone else, gnawed at his chest. He told himself it was only ego, it would fade. He spun the car around and asked Serena to hit the hot springs out of town tomorrow. Serena, who'd just requested Brielle as a friend, beamed. Sure, whatever you say. I tapped accept on the friend request. Serena's fresh Instagram story popped up, off to the springs with my Caden selfie from the passenger seat, cartoon cushion, bunny plush in her lap. Caption, he said the seat looked lonely, so he got me company. Teehee. The driver's profile was painfully familiar. I closed the pic. Zayn texted, you okay? Yep, all good. Hughes wants us in Eastbrook for the contest, leave tomorrow, pack tonight. Got it. See you then. I stuffed my laptop and clothes into a tote, then swept every dress Caden ever gave me into a garbage bag and took a cab to his loft. He must have left in a rush, the place was chaos. Sofa littered with girl debris, striped thigh-highs, eyeshadow palettes, falsies, a lace bra. The throw pillow I'd gifted lay on the rug, soul printed to death. I dropped the dresses in the guest room, the one Serena seemed to have claimed, and shut the door, numb. I bagged every trace of me and was almost out when my phone rang. Caden, breaking a month of silence. I saw you on the camera. Came to collect. What's in your hand? The pillow, it's filthy, tossing it. A pause. It's still usable. Shoe prints everywhere. Didn't you hate dirt? It's garbage now. He had no such phobia. I did, but we both knew the subtext. Silence stretched. Finally, when I'm back, we should talk. Sure. We both knew the topic, the end. All I felt was a dull ache. From the moment I realized he'd changed to now, barely a month had passed. The human recovery setting is insane, even I'm impressed with myself. Next morning Zayn and I left for Eastbrook. Provincial contest, first place by a landslide. After the awards I volunteered to show him around. I dragged him to my old high school, waving like a tour guide. Kid, guess what? This is my alma mater. Zayn shoved his hands in his pockets, smirking. Same here. Wait, what? I thought he transferred in from Jingxi High. He shrugged. I did a semester here first, then bounced to Jingxi. Oh, so that's how it is. He wore a half smile and stepped ahead of me. When we reached the honor board, he tapped the glass. Look, our pictures are still side by side. He was right. The board still displayed the photo from my sophomore year tournament win, trophy in hand, and there was Zayn, bold as brass, on my left. He gave the shot a meaningful glance. I clawed my way here for someone, but I arrived one lap late. She'd already sprinted off to college. Chasing a curb breaker is brutal, you can't slack for a second. His burning gaze pinned me, and my heart skipped. I instinctively turned. Hey, who's that? Looks like Hughes. I spotted my old homeroom teacher from high school. She spotted us too. She walked over, surprise lifting her brows. Well, if it isn't Brielle and Zayn. Long time no see. What are you two doing together? Zayn, did you finally catch up to your idol? Zayn smiled softly. Sure did, Hughes. I startled. Idol? What idol? Before Zayn could answer, Hughes jumped in. Oh, come on, it's you. The kid transferred all the way from Westside. Just to see you, but you skipped ahead to college and left him in the dust. I blinked. You came to see me? What's so interesting about me? Hughes opened her mouth again, but Zayn cut her off. Professor, she still doesn't know a thing. Save my secrets, okay? If there's progress, I'll update you later. The two shared a knowing look. Hughes pressed her lips together and patted my shoulder. Fine, your generation's business is your own. But little Rouet, this one's miles better than that punk before. The trust fund brat wasn't good enough for you. Off she marched, leaving me fog-headed. The punk had to be Caden. Hughes had never liked him, sure he was a bad influence. Watching her disappear, I turned to Zayn. What did Hughes mean about you transferring here just to see me? Zayn tilted his chin toward the gate, starting to walk. Remember that middle school coding contest in Westside? I did, it was my first major competition after touching a computer. Big enough to be televised, too. Zayn grinned. I was in the audience. I watched you lift the trophy. You smiled with that trophy, absolutely dazzling. In that instant I decided, I'd study computers too and walk the same road. I racked my brain but couldn't spot him in those memories. Hold on, though. How old were you then? Zayn, 13. Told my parents I wanted to code, they laughed for a week. Still felt unreal. So, you've known me since Jump Street? Yep. To be exact, I applied to Riverdale for one reason, you. I cringed. Don't tell me you plotted to dethrone me and steal first place? Wait, no need, you've already outscored me. He simply looked at me, eyes curved like a spring pond, and smoothed my hair. I'll finish the story later. I spent the whole night nibbling on the unfinished sentence and got nowhere thanks to Zayn's detour. I'd completely forgotten Caden's hot spring trip with some girl. By the time I returned to campus, trophy in hand, Caden had been waiting ages. I told Zayn to head back to Westbrook. I needed to speak with Caden alone. Zayn casually tapped my suitcase. Want me to haul this, and your purse? He looked so natural doing it. After months of hanging out, I didn't think twice. I handed everything over and watched him leave. When Caden walked up and saw Zayn trotting off, one suitcase in each hand and my handbag slung over his shoulder, his brows pinched. Why'd you let a guy carry your purse? Funny, you soak with girls and I can't borrow a male friend's arm? Too double standard to bother. I cut to it, say what you came to say. Caden hesitated. Brielle. I think maybe we're not cut out for the couple thing. Maybe we should, okay. My brisk answer startled him. What? Break up? Isn't that what you were building toward? Yes, but, I agree. I unlocked my phone and deleted his WhatsApp contact. Chat history gone, my stuff already moved out. Anything else? Bye. Caden flustered. Wait, Bells, how can you, what else? Maybe my face looked murderous, his mouth opened and closed, fish-like. Finally, and nothing. Then we're done. Later. On the way back I pulled out my phone and posted to Instagram, single and loving it. Relationship with Caden officially over. Amid the flood of? And, Zayn pinged me instantly. Senior teammate, where are you? Need to see you. Didn't we just split up? Suspicious, I dropped him my location. Seconds later, wait for me. Zayn jogged up, tiny sweat beads on his forehead. I handed him a tissue. Why the sprint? I'm not going anywhere. He gulped air. Can't risk it. Last time I lagged, someone almost snatched you. Word salad. I laughed. Spit it out. I've got time. He inhaled. Senior, I want to chase you. I'd been mid-swipe, answering classmates about the split. The line jerked my head around. Come again? He repeated, I want to court you, be your boyfriend. Right then an old classmate who'd crushed on Caden texted, honestly, you never deserved young Caden. Since it's over, pick Sami on in your league next time. I smacked my tongue, realizing how cracked that sweet romance had looked from outside. Imagine their meltdown if I now dated a younger prodigy who ticked every box. I eyed Zayn. You're 18. Zayn, legal adult. I mean, you're a kid. You're only 2 years older. I don't do younger guys. I've got stamina. Seeing him unbudgeable, I snapped, you've known me 5 minutes, how can you like me? He stayed silent, tugged me to the curb, flagged a cab, and we rode straight to his loft, directly across from Caden's place. He opened the door, led me to his bedroom. Every wall was papered with photos of me, tournament shots, interview stills, magazine covers, silhouettes. My ordinary face, captured from certain angles, suddenly looked captivating. He leaned in, caging me. His fiery gaze locked on mine, thrill undisguised. Senior, I've waited ages. Now you're single, can I have first dibs? His warm breath fanned my cheeks, scattering my thoughts. Zayn was ridiculously handsome, chiseled profile, amber light painting dangerous beauty. Those deep pools of eyes brimmed with turbulent emotion, ready to swallow me. I swallowed, purely hypnotized by. Zayn, that's not fair to you. I don't care. You don't even know me. That's why I want a chance. I caved a little. But I just broke up. If I jump into this, people will say I'm using you to spite my ex-weight, okay? Let's get closer first. He bent closer. 5 years, senior. I've waited 5, do you think I haven't figured things out? I know what I want, who you are. The only hitch now is we've re-met too recently, you don't trust me yet. Flip the angle, I'm younger, smarter, stronger than Caden. If we go public, he'll choke on it. Don't you want revenge? For him trampling your pride, for humiliating you in public? I'll be the blade, if it makes you smile. The low timbre laced with temptation left me dizzy. No, really, I wasn't thinking revenge. But I am. He tipped forward, our breath tangled, lips a centimeter apart. Senior, let me be your knife, let anyone who hurt my idol rot. Love him or hate him, Zayn used persuasion. I still don't know how he talked me into it, but by the time I resurfaced, our going Instagram was live. Predictably, my feed exploded. Screenfuls of 666,666. My bestie FaceTimed, asking how I'd swapped a trust fund heir for a hot freshman in zero downtime. I told the truth, brains, I guess. Bestie, get lost. Truth nobody buys. So, in a blur, Zayn became the rebound guy, except he didn't care, he practically preened. Whenever nosy classmates probed, he gloated, "Yep, my girl's my childhood idol." Classmate. Haha, yep, national comp sci gold medalist, total beast. Zayn funneled every ounce of sharpness into chasing me. Everywhere else we shared the same social bluntness. Once we teamed up, the fit stunned us. First, he lives for code, me too. Second, he's addicted to learning, so am I. We're both hermits. On days without class or Westbrook drills, we sprawl on his rug, heads touching, reading. He never calls me boring. I never mock his stay-at-home streak. Life stayed calm, cozy. One rainy afternoon I found a drenched yellow kitten outside my dorm, caved, and installed it at his place. He adored it, named it Tofu, declared we were its mom and dad. With a cat in residence, Zayn somehow reappeared with a puppy. Suddenly the loft was chaos. By fall of junior year I'd become the cliché winner, cat, dog, younger boyfriend. Outsiders sighed that we were sickeningly sweet. Reality, we were ridiculously pure, hadn't even kissed. My bestie jokes we've fast-forwarded to an old married couple. And honestly, that vibe makes me feel oddly safe, utterly addicted. So I never imagined that Caden would come looking for me. 6 months after the breakup. This was the first time he'd taken the initiative. I'd still caught scraps of gossip, how he swapped girlfriends every month, how he turned influencer parties into circuses, dramedy. See, loud, impossible to miss. Because I'd deleted every last contact, I'd set every rumor to hide, and after a while Caden had virtually vanished from my orbit. So when I spotted him waiting, I actually flinched. I thought it over, decided courtesy cost nothing, and walked up. I smiled. "Hey, long time no see." Caden stared, a little dazed. "Long time no see." He rubbed his nose, ill at ease. "Your hair, it's grown." "Oh, right. Competition season had kept me too busy for trims, it now brushed my shoulders. When Zayn and I curl up with books he likes to hook his chin over my collarbone and bury his nose in the strands. I enjoy the tiny ritual, so I'd left the length alone. But Caden read it wrong. His throat bobbed, voice dropping. "You really do look better with long hair." I have zero patience for appearance critiques from an ex, especially one whose buddies once heard him call me ugly. I frowned. "I've got things to do." Later. I turned, he caught my wrist. Only then did I notice how much weight he'd lost, how hollow he looked. Head down, he gave a bitter laugh. "Don't go, Brielle. I came for you. I miss you." I stared back, expressionless. No reply. Caden pushed on, "The longer we're apart, the more I miss you." I swear, freshman year went to my head, all those girls, I got confused. I thought I was just infatuated, that I'd picked wrong, so I wanted out. But once you were really gone I realized everyone out there has an angle. You're the only one I could hand my heart to without a second thought. The Caden family is like every other dynasty, a calculator for every handshake. His father's bastards are countless. Younger, he hadn't felt the rot, lately his mother has spelled it out in neon. That's when he learned how rare unmixed affection is. He wants me back. His face reverts to the same pleading puppy look I remember from high school, the one that used to melt me. Times change, now it only turns my stomach. I study him, calm and crystal clear. "Did you know, Caden, the weekend after we checked into that hotel I came to your loft?" Watching him drain of color, I twist the knife. "I heard every word you said to Finn. You weren't bored with me, you thought I was ugly. You said spending your best years with a straight-laced frump sounded like a horror movie. So you trampled my pride because you had to break up. You're here now mostly because I didn't fall apart the way you expected. Your ego can't take it. Who says I had to cry? Who says I can't instantly rebound with someone better? I bet the jokes at your expense write themselves. Caden, you always want the next shiny thing. Deserve every lonely night. I don't forgive, and I don't want to see you again. Stay away." I walk off without looking back. Zayn was right, flipping that knife feels glorious. Caden's hands and feet went ice cold the moment the words hit. He opened his mouth, hunting for a defense, and found none. Brielle's voice stayed soft, barely raised, yet sweat beaded along his spine. It sank in, this door was bolted forever. Long after she disappeared he dragged himself to the car. Finn glanced over. "So, did it work?" Then winced, the answer was written all over Caden's face. The car rolled on, Caden stared out the window. Suddenly he asked, "Finn, do you think people like me get what's coming?" He already felt the curse working. Finn stayed silent. Caden tilted his head back, throat burning. Too young, he hadn't known the weight of a clean heart. He pictured Brielle curled on the sofa, absorbed in a book, simple and transparent. Every time he'd come home she'd look up in sweats, and the world would steady itself. When Zayn learned they'd split, she'd sighed that he was as blind as his father. He used to think Zayn's pride would choke on Brielle's background, that the relationship had an expiration date. Instead, Zayn ripped into him. After the breakup, a hollow opened inside him, no amount of noise could fill it. At first he figured it was boredom, or th. At the new girls weren't hot enough. He slept with Serena without offering a label. She was wild in bed, all curves and smoke under colored lights. The high lasted weeks. Yet after a while the thrill evaporated. Skin is skin once hormones settle, and skin feels empty. He remembered picking Serena up with Finn one night. Halfway there they spotted Brielle and Zayn walking a black and white border collie. Zayn said something, the dog sat, grinning up at Brielle. She knelt, pressed her forehead to the dog's, kissed its ear. The car sped past, Caden only caught a flash. Still, a sudden spike of pain shot through his chest. At that instant he knew whose name was carved in the hollow. Brielle. Senior year I signed with a major Eastbrook tech giant, package fat enough to make my eyes water. Out of the blue Mom called, she wanted a divorce. After decades of dad's cheating she was finally done, I didn't ask why. Good news is good news. Good moods demand spoiling. I grabbed wine and bar snacks and challenged Zayn to a two-person party. 2 years in, he'd grown steadier, and his life revolved around taking care of me. Only one item stayed unchecked, we still hadn't crossed the final line. We kissed, we ate, yet every time the fuse burned down he pulled back. Youth is short and he's delicious, why stay hungry? So I walked the dog until it collapsed, fed the cat into a food coma, locked it in the guest room, cued a steamy movie, and dragged him onto the couch. Before long the actors got handsy, so did we. Zayn's breathing turned ragged, he started to stand for a cold shower. I yanked him down. Where do you think you're going? Let's try it. His gaze scorched me. You're not ready. I am. Test me. He sucked in air. Brielle. Do you love me? I blinked. Huh? He leaned in until our lashes touched. 2 years and I've been scared to ask, are you in love with me yet? What kind of question is that? Would I sleep with someone I don't love? Amused, I teased, and if I say no, why? Oh, you'll zip your pants forever? He pressed his lips shut. I kept smirking until I provoked him past the breaking point. He kissed me hard. Much later I learned Zayn's restraint came from thinking he'd snuck in under false pretenses. He'd decided my feelings ran on slow burn and feared I'd mistake habit for love, so he left me an escape hatch. Please, I'm lazy, not stupid. I know exactly who treats me like the only trophy that matters. Anyone who lets a worshipper like that walk away is the real fool. After we finally rounded third and slid home, we sorted the misunderstanding. Zayn, rarely shy, buried his burning face in my neck. Did it hurt? Nope. Marry me when I graduate. My heart puddled, I couldn't resist poking him. Changed your mind about me regretting it? He sealed my lips with his. Too late. You're mine. A year later Zayn walked across the stage and we picked up our marriage license. We threw a small Eastbrook society wedding. Somehow Caden heard and showed. He never entered the tent, stood far off like a stone statue. Guests we'd gone to school with spotted him, but no one acknowledged him, they simply filed inside. Years later, our kid could run errands alone and Caden was still surfing one bedsheet to the next. He'd become the player everyone whispered about, mirrors of their fathers. One night I picked Zayn up from a company dinner. Caden was staggering into the adjacent hotel with an influencer on his arm. Drunk, he met my eyes and started to speak, only to be cut off by a roar behind me. Honey, you're here. Zayn darted over, kissed me through the open window. Whatever light remained in Caden's gaze snuffed out, he lowered his head. I laughed, shoved Zayn into the passenger seat, and drove off. Blocks away the guy was still standing there. Zayn saw everything, shrugged it off. He wiggled his brows. The kid's at grandma's, let's manufacture that second kid tonight. Age has only sharpened his looks, every glance is an invitation. I'm not made of stone. So I smile. Bed, yes. Second kid, hard pass. One child is plenty. Zayn is already scrolling for toys. I spin the wheel toward home. In the rear view the black dot outside the hotel finally vanishes. Thanks for listening. If you liked the story, hit like and share it with friends. Drop your thoughts below, subscribe for more tales. See you next time.